Oh, hell, what the hell did Lee do to his face?
We shaved.
Yeah, Mr. Clean, here we go. Hi, everyone. Guess we'll give you guys a few minutes to
Mr.
get in
Clean.
here. Yeah, this actually doesn't taste bad. It's like Sprite with like a whole bunch of lemon and lime.
Well, it is a lemon lime drink.
More lemon than mine.
Than mine. In mine. You used to be able to talk when you had facial hair.
True. I get it. You should have seen all of the noise that was going on outside.
How do you noise?
Oh, I guess some people having people over. I mean, it just happens to that actually.
That's not good.
No.
Oh, look. Hi, honey.
No, we haven't seen that one in a minute.
We have not.
You staying out of trouble? Or more like in trouble?
She stays in and out of trouble.
Yeah, no, she kind of does.
That's fine.
Yes.
That's fine.
So hello.
We are live, waiting for miss you
nice
too.
to
We
see
do
you.
miss you.
Yes.
We are here to answer some questions and to start off this auction. We're going to auction off some sessions first and some root camp, and we're going to do that in between questions. Oh, I was looking for that question. We had a question on the video.
From the other day?
No, it's from today.
Oh, okay.
It's under, I'll find it.
Okay.
I'll find the question.
Yes, always trouble. Oh, hi.
Oh, look.
Yeah, look.
We know her, too.
Oh, look at the little puppy.
Aw, that is so cute. I'm looking for the question. We got a question today, and I'm going to find it.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to answer that one first. We're going to answer some questions. We're going to do an auction. We're going to do some things. We're going to have some fun. We're going to be here for about 45 minutes. There it is.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wait a minute. Shoot, I did something messed up. Wait a minute.
We don't let me touch things.
No, I usually. Oh, this one?
Yeah.
Okay. You want me to read it?
Yes.
Okay. Hey, next time you're in question answering mode, can you address all the overload of crap information out there about twin flames? I know you discussed it before, but just feel like it needs to be put out there again. A few weeks ago, I was at a monthly class I go to, and this girl started going on about her twin flame. So I told her I had a similar situation and gave her the 1-minute version of where I was with it. She immediately starts putting all these labels on my connection, like what stage I'm in, who's the runner, and who's the chaser, etc. I just said it's not really like that for me, and I said a lot of the TF information out on the internet doesn't really resonate with me. That's why I almost never say to people I have a twin flame, because I don't want to be lumped in with all the misinformation out there. Wow, that's deep.
We have touched on that before, and we can touch on it again for just a brief moment. Wow. Where to start on that one?
Oh, I know where to start.
All right, go ahead.
All right, so let's make sure we're all on the same page here. A stage.
Is this a vein? What is this right here? Is this a vein?
I don't know, but it's cute. I could kiss
Oh,
it later
cute.
for you.
It's a vein. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Stop judging. It's fine.
Oh, okay. Stages. Let's just talk about stages. Stages
Hi,
are
Canadians.
Hi, Canadians. I don't
She
know.
lives in
if that's-
Canada.
Oh.
Eh? Please, sorry.
That's
Answer the
okay.
question.
Stages. And all of the processes are human conditions. If you have somebody who's labeling a stage 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in a system that doesn't even know what numbers are, maybe the first step would be realizing there is only one step and it's in this moment. Anything else, a layer, a stage, or anything, it can all be asked backwards. It can all be out of direction. None of it makes any sense, and we still are wondering why they come up with these. This step will happen first. This step will happen after
Stage
this.
one.
This step will
stage
happen.
two,
We
stage
see
three.
now, just because and we can talk about this, but we're not giving you any names or giving you any places to go with this. But how come we've run into those who have gone into the really nasty stuff and then ended in bubble face? There was no stage. It's just
Isn't
sometimes
bubble face a stage?
Well, here's the thing. What I'm saying is how you put one thing in one direction and you try to put it in another direction and you try to make direction. Then you try to tell everybody, yes, you're going to go through a separation. No, you don't. You're going to go through a separation because somebody told you you're going to go through a separation, not necessarily because you're going to go through a separation. And everything has to do with what you tell yourself on the inside. And if you're going to take somebody's outside information on the inside of your connection, you're just going to take the long way around to realize you should have listened to yourself in the first place. So I would almost say that, if you really look at somebody who's going to walk you through it and talk about processes, again, the processes, I think, are what makes everything go backwards, not forwards. So just go at your own pace. Just look inside and find it from there. Don't, if somebody's going to guide you inside of you, they're going to be able to help you more than telling you, well, you're probably in this stage. You're probably this person. You're probably going to be labeled. I just don't understand that stuff.
I have this real simple, we've put out videos of twin flames and mystical things. And disclaimer, we have no issues with mystical things. You can see behind me that I have rocks and things, crystals and such.
I sprayed myself with
Energy
some Metatron
cards.
spray.
Oh, this lady's great, by the way. We should give her a shout out at Phoenix Rising Aromatherapy.
Oh,
she's awesome.
Yeah.
Blonde haired lady, just gorgeous. She
doesn't mean we don't believe. It's
I have things. I use things. We do utilize things. We like to rub his belly. We're not Buddhists per se. It's a label. However, here's the thing. The thinker. That's not mystical, but it's fine. We put out this video called Twin Flames and Mystical Things, and here's the thing. When you're even when you're just getting into the dynamic, understanding what it is, we strongly encourage you to stay away from the readings, from the crystals, from the portals, from all the mystical things that you may get sucked into when it comes to this dynamic. This dynamic is very, very, very simple. You are connected on a spiritual level to someone. Bottom line.
Balls.
Here's the thing. In relationships, there are runners, there are chasers, there is honeymoon phase versus bubble love phase. It's just relabeled for twin flames. There are the same labels on relationship that there are in union. They're just labeled differently, right? So here's the thing. It's like finding a church home, right? And I don't even like to use that analogy, but she mocked your ball statement. We can't take her anywhere. Anyway, it's just much easier to know you're connected to someone on a spiritual level. Keep it simple, very, very simple. Don't get caught up in all the hoopla, all the. It's hard to explain because I don't want to say this person's wrong for teaching this other person, and because I don't believe that. I'm not a psychic by any means. I happen to be a medium, and that's something that I was born with, and I don't put that out there much. And that's because it adds to the confusion. Running, chasing, even stand filling. Mm-hmm. I don't know who coined that. That's awesome. But even all of that stuff is just adding to the confusion. This most important, what you're feeling is on the inside. We said this in our last video. It's on the inside. Going for outside validation via mediums, via psychics, via card readings, right? Via outside validation in any way, shape, or form. To me, when it comes to this dynamic, is I don't want to say this. and I'm not gonna. It's adds to the confusion. Let's leave it there because I don't want to step on any toes here, but I'm trying to keep it very, 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 very simple. This is a very simple dynamic. It's very it's very cut and dry. You're spiritually connected to someone else. When I said earlier, it's like finding a church home. You're going to find all kinds of teachers. You're going to find all kinds of people who are twin flames, who are twin flame teachers. Okay, Lee and I teach from our union. That's what we teach from. We teach from our union. We teach from where we've been.
And we let our union teach us.
Yes, all the time.
I think maybe we could say it with this, because Sherry has said it, and she has said it one particular way, and I'm just going to put it out there because it's probably not anywhere out there for you to find. Because you could probably sit there and go, yeah, I know this person, that person, this person, and you could probably throw 1,000 people under the bus, and then at the same time, you could throw a lot of people up in the sky. So we're just going to tell you this one simple thing to remember, rule of thumb, if you're looking for somebody to help you through this connection. If they're not helping you find your vulnerability, they're taking you the wrong fucking direction.
What? Sure.
I'm sorry, but they are. But vulnerability is
the
the
wrong
key.
darn direction, or the wrong dang direction, or the wrong damn directions.
It's after 9 o'clock. They better be in bed if they try
You
to
know
watch
what?
this.
It's morning in some places. People don't need to hear that first thing in the morning.
I forgot that.
Oh, okay.
But I'm just saying, if they can take you to your vulnerability and show you your vulnerability and help you through your vulnerability and embrace you while you're in your vulnerability.
Okay.
And that they're not trying to badmouth anybody else around them, and they're not badmouthing other teachers, because that's not what we do. Right. We're not badmouthing it what anybody's doing, but we are saying this: if you want true help, find somebody who will help you find your vulnerability. Not the vulnerability of the person you're connected to, but your own. Because once you're in that, you're going to find that something in you starts to wake up. And that's exactly what we put out there and what we come out here and we do.
And what we teach our coaches to do.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Find a relationship reinvented certified coach. And there's one in the room. Her name is Kirsten Porter.
Yes.
We call her Carrie. We call her by her name because we can. Yeah. And hopefully a couple other of our coaches will come in, and it's awesome. However, hope that answered your question. We're going to
That was a deep question.
It was a deep question. It was awesome. We're going to start off this auction. Here's the thing. I'm going to post this. So you don't have to worry about remembering.
Oh, there's Catherine. Hi, Catherine.
Another one of our coaches,
yes,
Catherine Spahar.
She's awesome.
And we say your name because we can. And we want people to find you both. They're both great and lovely coaches. And we're going to get to your next question. Get your questions ready. We don't have any yet. We're ready for a question. We're going to start this auction. This auction is going to go through tomorrow evening. So I'm going to post them. That's what I was just getting ready to say. I'm going to post them.
Okay.
And then
emails
they send a let's do it this way. They're going to send a private message.
Okay.
They're going to send a private message to Sherry Lee.
Sherry Lee.
To Sherry Lee and or Lee Sherry.
Or Lee Sherry.
Or Sherry Patterson, because we're going to check those three.
Okay.
We're going to check those three throughout the day for that. We'll have the instructions on this. We are going to auction off some sessions. We're going to auction off a couple root camps. We're gonna start the auction, the bidding very, very low. We're doing this to we get none of this, and this is going straight. All of the proceeds to this are going straight to the Reinventing Innocence project. That is a subsidiary of Relationship Reinvented, by the way. It is help for victims of sexual abuse. I am a sexual abuse survivor, and I created this nonprofit organization to help others.
We also, I wanted to tell a little bit more about it, because I know that some of you have helped already, and we want to say thank you to that, because we actually stepped out and found that there was something that our root camp could do, and there was something that we were able to do that really made an impact to people who've been sexually abused, whether it's a child, whether it's an adult who's found nothing but abuse ever since. And it's been very eye-opening, I think, for me, from a standpoint of not really. I mean, I'm in touch with what I feel, but when I'm seeing it and now I'm able to see it in somebody else, and when they're just completely disconnected because of what somebody did to them, we've been doing some really powerful things in our community, but just in our area. And we're going to try to really expand this because it's much needed. So for all of you out there, I can't even tell you what it means to us. That as what coming together just in our union, what we're going to be able to do, and how we can do it at this point because of all of your love and the love that we found with each other. We really appreciate it.
Yes, thank you.
I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. So we're going to donate our time and some sessions, and we're going to take all the proceeds to this and pour it towards this goal. I've been posting this fundraiser in this group for a while and other groups as well. And we have received some funds, and those funds have already been distributed and helped the family, and it was awesome. And we now have a family staying at our home. And it's fine, but we need to get them to, this is a safe house. So we need to get them to permanent housing in their own community, in their own school system, because these children are in school. So let's work on that. So we're going to start with, and you can also put comments here if you're ready to make a bid. Then we can even start here, and then we'll put the where it's up to. So I'll let you know how this is working. Before I do that, I have a little ego boost here, and it says, Sherry, you look beautiful today. Loving the top, and your hair is fabulous. Girl, look. I'm just joking.
What are you trying to say?
This is.
Wait a minute. Why don't I look beautiful today?
You always look amazing. That's all. He's so fly. He never lands.
Yes, I know you all want my shirt.
Look. This was about me.
Oh, okay.
Clearly.
Well, we're twins, so it's about us.
So
The way I look at it is about us.
Right. So look, the hair's great, staying white. It will have some black streaks. It will have some red streaks. You will see all kinds of color. It's fine.
Man.
It's fine. I'm not wearing a black t-shirt because it is 10:45 here, and I am in one of my caftans, which I wear regularly throughout the house. I shall let them see.
Isn't that beautiful?
She's
hiding how much weight she's really lost, by the way, just so y'all know.
This is one of my favorite caftans, by the way. I don't think I've lost that much. Maybe 20 pounds. Maybe.
Balls.
We'll see.
Well said.
I don't know.
Well said.
Anyway, thank you. That was lovely. So we're going to start with an individual session, one session. That's one session with Lee and I. And our sessions are $200. We are going to start a bid out for an individual session with us for $50. So put your bid in for.
How many of those are we?
We're going to auction off a couple of those.
Okay.
So put your bid in, and we will. This round, we're only auctioning off one.
Okay.
Rounds, yeah.
Gotcha.
And then put that bid in. Don't let it get up to 200, but get your discount, and let's. If you wanting to bid on that,
the way the bidding's going to
go
work.
in $5 increments.
Yeah, but it's only going to last to a certain point if it stays at that one for how long?
I think it's.
So if it stays at that point for that person.
And yeah, well, if it stays there, it doesn't matter. This particular round will go off at 7:00 tomorrow night.
Gotcha.
So it doesn't matter if it stays. It stays.
Okay, I'm learning this like you.
So we're starting that bid off at $50. If you, and I'm going to be posting this. I'm going to be posting it on paper so you don't forget. But if you want to bid during this live, please do. If you want to bid after the live, you can bid one of 4 ways. You can bid on commenting on the live, commenting on the recording, and or direct message through Facebook, Sherry Lee, Lee Sherry, or Sherry Patterson. One of those. And we're going to check those personally. A lot of times our office manager checks them, but we're going to do
And
this.
if you're not friends with his friend, because that could, or
Yeah.
friend, Sherry Patterson's the main. I think that'll be the main one.
That'll be the main
That's one that will be seen on this.
Yeah,
anyway,
we'll
so.
be checking it most often. So $50, we're going to start that out. Bidding goes in $5 increments. So if you want to bid, let us know. We're going to go all the way up from to a month to 6 months to a year. We're going to do some root camps. We're going to do those in between questions. Do we have any more questions?
Ooh,
No questions? What?
nope. Somebody loves Peter Pan. Like where your head's at.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. So we answered the question we got. I guess
Yeah, everybody seems not. Yeah, that was. I don't know. Yeah,
That
I'm
was a
sure
pretty deep
everybody. If you
question.
didn't get to watch the question, it'll be posted, of course. There have been lots of questions, lots of different questions. But if you have one, go ahead. We're free. Let's
ready
see.
for questions.
I hope they understood what I meant by vulnerability.
What did you mean by vulnerability?
Vulnerability means you no longer keep trying to prove to yourself that protecting your heart is a way to love somebody. I don't even know what I even came up with, because once you try to protect, you're building this wall that nobody feels anything going out and nobody's allowed to feel anything coming in. It's a wall. So you got to find your vulnerability to change it.
Vulnerability is a wall.
Vulnerability is the ability to not have a wall.
Oh.
Vulnerability is the ability to love regardless. Vulnerability is showing people how you attack yourself.
What?
I'm not good enough. I don't deserve. I'm not. You know what I'm saying? They go through all of those and they're openly saying it, so people can actually embrace them. It's very hard to understand vulnerability until you're in it. Once you're in it, you're free.
Oh, I get it. But riddle me this.
Uh-oh.
There are some, me being one, a lot of people, because we deal with sexual abuse a lot. So a lot of times if you've been sexually abused, it's hard for you to initiate or for you to reach out for affection or love or attention. So, and you know personally that it takes a lot. It takes a lot for some people just to even reach out and hold a hand, right? It takes a lot for some people to ask, hey, do you want to spend some time with me? Whether it be 10 or 15 minutes or an hour, what I want to use the word courage. It's coming to me. The word courage is really, it takes courage for some people to get vulnerable. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
To show vulnerability.
Right.
Courage is kind of, it's a good word for this because it takes courage for me sometimes to say to you, hey, do you want to do this or do you want to do that? That is beforehand an hour or longer of deliberation in the brain.
Yeah.
Will I be rejected? Will he want to do something else? Will he not want to spend that time with me? Will he have something more important to do?
Right.
So it takes courage to get to that point. Hey, do you want to do this? And then, because it feels heavy, right? Because it's something you want to do. It feels heavy. So, hey, do you want to do this? Nope, I'd rather do this. That's the fear that comes with that. So being vulnerable, and a lot of people, takes courage. So what happens if you get used to being vulnerable, you try to be vulnerable, and the vulnerability gets overstepped or shot down or rejected?
Yes, that was beautifully put, and that was the perfect example of rejection. So now the vulnerability part, where it comes from in vulnerability would be, I would like to spend some time with you. Would you like to do this with me?
Mm-hmm.
But what we normally want to do is go, would you like to do this? Because we're in the rejection. So vulnerability looks like that. Rejection looks like this. Do you want? I want. Because it's almost like you can't understand what the other person's communicating to you. So it's almost like they kind of want to sort of do it is the way it's going to come out because you've given it so much deliberation.
Mm-hmm.
The deliberation has a movie that plays that says, this is going to be what happens if I get rejected. This is going to be what happens if I get rejected. This is what's going to be, this is what happens if I get rejected. So when you come from that energy, you're coming from the rejection energy. You're not coming from, this is what I want.
Well, I know. I completely understand that. And I think a lot of people completely understand that. And I'm reading these comments, and vulnerability is a hard one. I would agree with you. It's hard to be vulnerable when you've had trauma as a child. So even coming out of that, somebody who's been abused and just say single and really wants to ask this person out on a date, right? Mm-hmm. They really want to go out on a date with this person. There's days, sometimes weeks, sometimes of inner deliberation with trauma.
Right.
Weeks of deliberation. What if he says no? There's a lot of deliberation.
Absolutely.
Right? So a lot of times it comes across as, would you like to go on a date?
Mm.
Right? So because you don't want to look like, you want to look like do you want to? Like it's not that big of a deal to you because you don't want that other person to feel like they let you down.
Okay. So
even coming out of or trying to get vulnerable, trying to learn vulnerability, even so much as the ultimate fight, the ultimate argument of every couple everywhere, what would you like for dinner? Right? What do you want to eat? What do you feel like eating? Like that's cause divorces. It's just the worst question ever to ask your spouse. Don't ever ask it, right? Just make it, no eat or go out. It's the best advice I could give you. But even trying to come out of walls and step into vulnerability, mm-hmm. It takes courage. And even in the way they're asking it or the way that it comes across, really is always going to be, would you like to go on a date, or would you be interested in going on a date? Because there's other, because we build up that dialogue. Nice. That dialogue's built up, mm-hmm. Right? So if it's almost a protection mechanism. Right. It's very much a protection mechanism that makes us, hey, it's okay if we do or if we don't. But inside of us, it's like that's what we want to do. We want to spend time. We want to, you know what I mean? But it takes a lot of courage for us to, as you know, trying to step into vulnerability. When we do, it comes out like that because we don't want the other person to feel like it's that big of a deal. Yes. Does that make sense? Yes, but I would like to point out where it seems to be that because I had the same trauma, right? I had the same trauma of abandonment. I had the same trauma mm-hmm. of rejection. And what I found I was doing is I wasn't going, when I would be fearful of or find that I was going to be faced with that, mm-hmm. the one thing that I took the courage and did is I went into that memory and pulled that child into my present moment and said, mm-hmm. guess what? Come on, I'm going to show you we can actually be loved. We can actually experience somebody wanting to spend time with us. We can actually experience somebody not abandoning us. Because we have that trauma in our mind, we keep telling the child they're stuck in the trauma. The child is allowed to come with you. The child has you as for protection. So you have to take your own love and give it to that child that really went through the trauma mm-hmm. and say, come on, we got this. If you don't, you're right. You're leaving the child behind and you're expecting the person you're with to leave that child behind too. No, okay. And that's the way it feels. And that's why we always end up back in that same space. So it's the courage is there, but the courage is being utilized in one aspect, but not being utilized in the other. The courage to want to say something also has to be the courage of that child who wants that attention. The child has to speak up. A child who's been traumatized doesn't never get to that space. Does that make sense? It's very much childlike, yes. Yeah, and it feels that way. Very much childlike, yes. Even as adults, it feels very childlike. Like, you know, do you want to go on a date, or do you want to go to dinner, or do you want to hang out, or do you want to spend some time with me, or can we do this? It does feel it to us. It literally feels like a child. Mm-hmm. Almost like a 5 or 7 year old child. Right. Who is used to hearing no. Who is used to hearing no, and who is used to hearing yes, if you. or yes after.
There's a different energy when you're carrying that child versus let the child stay back while you try to figure out what's going to happen. Does that make sense? And the child's behind you. The child's not the one asking.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So the courage is let the child come forward and let the child go, hi, spend some time with me. Right. It's almost like the other aspect is, do you want to spend time with the child?
Yeah,
and it's the child's behind you.
In all reality, you're not going to say
the heart energy. No,
yeah,
but the heart energy isn't going to be present when you're asking.
Oh,
it's going to be more of the rejection energy of what you've already done to yourself.
Gotcha.
Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So that happens, and it keeps repeating, and it gets deeper and it gets deeper. And you're right, a lot of it's hidden because as you go through those types of traumas throughout your life, you continuously keep asking yourself, am I ever going to find the person who's not going to do this to me? And then you have to turn around and look in the mirror and go, oh shit, there's one person I wasn't looking for, me. And that's the part where you're looking in the mirror going, have I been doing this to myself? And that's when we had our huge separation, I started to realize that's exactly what I was doing.
Okay.
So if you can't come forward with your heart, what are you coming forward with? You're coming forward with the energy of rejection, the energy of abandonment, the energy of I could care less. Mm-hmm. It doesn't really matter to me. I'm good one way or another. And when you come with that energy, that's energy you're going to get back.
Right.
And the other person's going to be able to pick up on that energy. They're going to think it sounds like, it doesn't sound like you really want to do this. And then it could be, oh, that's not even what I meant. And you're right, that's not what you meant. But you came with that energy, and that's how the other person absorbed the energy.
All right. We're good. We got a question we're going to get to. We're definitely going to get to that question. I'm going to go ahead and between questions and discuss this auction that we're having. And the auction, all proceeds are going to Reinventing Innocence, and that is our sexual abuse trauma nonprofit. And we actually have a crowdfunding page that we are trying to make to goal. And we actually have an active auction up for, and I'm going to go through 5. I'm going to go through 5 real quick. No worries. You don't have to remember. If you happen to have your eye on one in particular, go ahead and throw your bid in, and we're going to get your next question. We are going to auction off one session with Lee and Sherry, with us personally, for $50 as a start point for auction. So we're going to increase in increments of $5.
Yes.
A month.
Now you don't necessarily have to do this. You could donate.
You can donate it. That's fine. If you're a current client, you want to add to sessions, this is the perfect time to add to sessions because you're going to get your sessions and the money's going to go to a good cause. A month of coaching with us is $800 normally. We're going to start the bid on a month of coaching personally with Lee and Sherry for $300. So I'm sorry, I have to itch my back. And so we'll start that. And now these auctions are going to go until 7 o'clock tomorrow night. That is 7 o'clock on August 14th at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. 6 months with Lee and Sherry is $4,800. We're going to start that auction off at $15. And a year with Lee and Sherry, we're not even going to discuss the price because
it's irrelevant.
It's irrelevant. But do the math. $4,800 for 6 months and $4,800 for 6 more months is a total of $9,600. We're going to start that bid. You can get a year of coaching with Lee and Sherry once a month for $4,800. And we're going to auction off some root camps. Root camps are $1,000.
One session a week for 52 weeks.
Who would want that?
Oof. Oh, they've never.
We have a whole file.
They're not even the same after a month, but
they're not.
2 months.
We're going to auction off some root camps. Root camps are $1,000, and we're going to auction off root camps with starting bids at $400. So, all that money doesn't go to us. We're donating this time, and all the money is going to Reinventing Innocence. I'm going to post these prices I'm going to post this afterwards, or probably not till in the morning. But now we're going to get to our next question.
Did you ever take a break from the contact
for you, right?
with when Sherry was with Ron? Did you have to step back for a bit with communication? No, and I guess because Well, okay.
Go ahead and explain yours, and I'll explain mine.
We'll go first. Let's talk about at the beginning. You're talking about in 2007 or in 2009?
Well, we'll talk about both.
Okay.
Let's talk about both because.
So 2007.
Well, it was actually 2000 and no.
The end of 2007.
Yeah, that's right. It was the end of 2007.
Yep.
Yes.
You found out you were pregnant.
Yes, and yeah. Before that, though, you did it. Before we found out I was pregnant, but it was
when you were with Ron.
Yeah.
No, I didn't broke off when you were with Ron. Not until you
said.
No.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying. After I became pregnant, I mean, you never backed up communication except for those 2 years. But you didn't. But I was dating other people. That was irrelevant.
Oh yeah,
That's beside
I
the
don't think
point.
that's what she's asking.
Here's my take on it, and then you can throw your take in there.
Okay.
But I believe it's going to be very similar.
All right.
When I found out that I was pregnant with Cameron, Lee said to me, "Hey, let's just go. Come with me. Let's raise this baby and go." Clearly, I said, it's not your baby, and the baby belongs to my husband. Let's go. He was like, "Let's go," and I was like, "Nah." And then my marriage was falling apart. It was we were already in separation. Was he already living in the apartment by then?
No.
No, he was living in the basement.
No.
Yeah, he was.
No.
Look, you didn't live there?
Let me tell you what happened. I woke up on Thanksgiving and felt conception. I felt the heartbeat. That doesn't sound like you were staying in separate rooms. I'm not saying
that you didn't. What I'm saying is we were on our way to separation.
But the way the story was told to me is they didn't get married to the end of December,
right?
Which I found out wasn't the truth.
No, we didn't.
Right.
That was a long time.
Yes.
We were I'm going to try to clear this up. Ron and I were already in a separation phase. He was sleeping in the basement on the couch. I was sleeping upstairs. We had Thanksgiving dinner with the family there. We had too much to drink, and we slept together and conceived Cameron. Now, at this point, we were in save the marriage mode because I'm pregnant now. And now I had the one that I'm connected to asking me to come. We'll raise this baby. I'm in shit mode, right? I could go be with I didn't even know anything about a twin flame back then. But I could be with this guy that I'm very connected to, and we can raise the baby, and it's going to be magical and lovely and wonderful. Do I do that? Do I do that to me? Do I do that to my child? And at that point, you weren't completely trustworthy at all. So I was in the stage where, do I want to do that and risk your behavior, right? With other women. I didn't want to put that trust in you. And then a week went by, a week or so?
7 days.
7 days went by. And Ron and I were having a very heated argument. We were discussing something. I don't know what it was we were discussing, but we were both in agreement that our marriage was a mess. It was over. But now I had this child, and that was conceived, and I had big decisions to make. And his words ring so true to me still. He said to me, I don't want to raise this child like I was raised. Right? And because his parents can't stand each other. Right? And I want to do whatever is right for the baby, if it means divorcing. Right? That's what he said to me. So I thought, okay, this is it. Right? And that's the night I drove to your house. And I drove to your house in complete. I had made my decision. I was coming to be with you. We were going to raise this baby, and the baby was going to have a loving mother and father, right? Mm-hmm. That didn't bite at each other and argue all the time. It's all we did, and I didn't want that. So, I don't know if you've watched our journey or not, but when I did go there, I walked up on the porch. I was about to knock on the door, and I looked in the curtains, and he was in embrace and kissing someone else. So I left and didn't say anything to him until the next day or 2 days later or something like that. I went home. I told Ron that I had been out driving around and I had thought about it and I had made a decision and I really wanted to work on our marriage and I really wanted to raise our son in a loving family and we needed to make some changes to do that. And at that point, you did step back.
At that point, I thought you had gone ahead and made your decision anyway.
Right. Yeah.
I hadn't heard from you. I had no idea that was going on at the other end. So it was like, that blind space where you don't know what's going on with the person you're connected to, and you keep going, I guess they're leaving. They've left. They've gone. They rejected me. This was just an illusion. That's what space I was in. Then push forward 2 years, the loss of my mom, and then finally coming out and telling her the truth about everything, about me in general. And all the doors closed. And I was left with just that, right? Left with sitting in my truth.
Mm-hmm.
And what I realized is my lies had beat the crap out of me, not my truth. So now it was time for my truth to bring out my vulnerability. And when you opened the doors again, and you and Ron were together, I was asking about Ron. I was, asking about the family. I'm connected to you. If I'm connected to you, I'm not going to go, you're over there, and this is the rules, and this is the rules of what it's going to take to stay connected to me, because that shit don't work. You're connected. You can go ahead and try to create that if you want, but that's you suffering. You're not making anybody suffer but yourself. So I realized that no matter what, I was going to be either her best friend, I was going to be best friends with her entire family, I was going to be there for all of them. I was not excluding anyone because I was also there for myself first. Mm. So that was what really changed it. No, I didn't need to not talk to you. I'm connected to you. I felt you with me even with all the doors closed.
Right.
And it was the most excruciating feeling because we hear it all the time. How come I just want to cut this off? I want them to leave. I don't want to feel them. I don't want to feel their energy. I don't want to feel. And then when I finally said yes, everything changed. It was just like, you know what? Come on, we're going to get up and go to work today. Come on, we're going to go get something to eat. Come on, we're going to go sing sad songs and cry in the car. And it was like you were with me. And I didn't have to push you away. I didn't want your energy gone. I'd spent a lifetime already being by myself. Mm-hmm. And when you started opening doors, I realized, I didn't do anything different other than finally say yes to the connection, not yes to the rules or the laws of being human and having somebody that you think has got to do everything else for you when you can't do it for yourself. So once I started doing it for myself, no, I wanted to know Ron. I wanted to know Casey, Kelsey, Kia, Cameron. I wanted to know the dogs. And and we would talk every day. And we felt it. We knew this energy was there. Mm-hmm. And we did flirt a little bit. Yeah, we talked about some things sexually, but that's not important, kind of. But there was still this rule that said, I'm going to go with the connection, not against it.
Right.
I'm not going to go in and try to tell myself I can cut this out of me because I would be cutting it out of me. But anyway, I hope that answered your question.
And it, however, kind of to clarify that a little bit, he did back away during most of my pregnancy.
I backed away during your pregnancy. I backed away when I was still kind of asleep.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. You were definitely still asleep at the wheel at that point in time. Here's the most interesting thing. After I had Cameron, and for the first year of his life, Lee and I, after I had Cameron, Ron and I, it became almost a brother-sister type of relationship. And it just all focused around this baby. There was no sleeping together. He slept in one part of the house. I slept in another part of the house. And he was actively looking for an apartment. And we weren't getting along. We got along famously where the baby was concerned. Where Cameron was concerned, he helped me. He changed diapers. He helped me. He went off to work every day. I stayed home with the baby. He came home. He did his thing, whatever he did. I made dinner, and we went our separate ways. However, there were a lot of times when he was around. Lee and I were just chatting in a group chat with another friend of ours, literally every night. Literally every night.
Nope.
There was not much private chatting.
Nope.
Just the three of us.
Until it was time to go to bed, and we kind of went off to our own little space to say goodnight.
To
But
say goodnight,
it
yeah.
wasn't. You're right. It was.
Yeah.
It was. But it was just like we accepted the connection.
Yes, we
We
did.
accepted the connection. We weren't making it that we had to be together. We weren't.
We were not.
We weren't.
Right.
It just seemed to be that the more that we weren't that way, the more the universe just took over and did what was supposed to be done.
When we stopped trying to navigate it.
Yep.
When we just let it be. Right.
But we had to be vulnerable with each other. And
Yes, very much
the
so.
more vulnerable and then we came together, and then that fear set in, because you always
Mm-hmm.
have that fear that sets in after you start to feel things start to come together. You start to feel like, oh shit, they're gonna see how I really tell myself some shit. And
Right.
it's a very strange feeling, but there's a way to navigate. There's a way not to navigate through that in the union or the connection, but there is a way to navigate that within yourself.
Right.
And then share.
Gotcha.
So
All
hopefully
right.
that answered. I know
I
that was
hope.
long-winded.
And we are going to
that was
answer another question. And in between questions, I'm gonna plug this auction.
Yes, you will. Yes.
Again, we're auctioning off sessions. We're going to auction off some other items too. If you have any great ideas and some things that you would love us to auction off, we had somebody email us earlier and say, hey, after we had posted the, actually before, because we have tossed around the idea for a little bit, and she said, hey, I think it'd be cute if you guys auctioned off the green shirt you wore in the false twin video with the tree
trees,
and the
yeah.
yin yang symbol. We do still have them, but we definitely would like to do that. My personal crystal and rock collection back here, we're definitely willing to auction off some neat items that you guys see in our videos all the time. But
Yes.
unless that they were personal gifts from somebody, we can't do that. But it's very near and dear to our hearts that Reinventing Innocence makes it to its goal. And we are definitely going to offer in the next day, we're going to be auctioning off a lot of stuff. A weekend retreat with Lee and I right out here. We are going to auction that off as well. Just you and it, twin or not with twin, husband, not with husband, doesn't matter. For two people or one, we're going to auction off that. We're working on the details of that, but we're going to auction off a weekend with us, and that will include airfare, and that will include airfare. That will include transportation to and from the airport.
We have all, yeah.
Yeah.
This is all still being worked out. This
One's being no. This
Okay.
one won't be tonight. I'm
Okay.
going to throw this out probably tomorrow.
Okay.
And all your meals and everything while you're here and coaching and things that would be real interesting. You'll love it out here. Hot tub swim. You'll love it out here. It's awesome.
Construction workers.
But yeah, that's not on the board. Construction, right? Hard hats.
Men with loose shirts.
So annoying. That
no,
was
it's not.
that was not on
balls.
the table yet, but we're working out the details. That was not on the table yet, but we are starting auction bidding at $50 a session with Lee and Sherry versus $200 that it is normally, and bidding should go at $5 in $5 increments. So a month we're going to start out. It's normally $800. We're going to start out bidding for a month of coaching with Lee and Sherry for $300. 6 months of coaching, which is normally $4,800, we're going to start out bidding at $1,500. And a year of coaching with Lee and Sherry is $9,600. We are offering a year of coaching with Lee and Sherry for $4,800. We're going to start the bidding off of that. And root camps are $1,000 with us. We're starting off auction at $400, and all proceeds go to Reinventing Innocence, our nonprofit for sexual abuse. There is a crowdfunding. This auction, though, we're gonna do, and then we're gonna put it on the crowdfunding to bring the total down. But once you've won your bid, we'll work that out with you, and we are going to answer the next question. I am going to be putting the page up with the auctions and the auction prices and what the current bids are. This auction's over at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow on August 14th. All right, next question.
Have y'all ever covered dealing with an addict?
Oh my goodness, yes. A lot, actually. We have personal experience as well as my daughter is an addict. And we do have a lot of clientele who are addicts. I guess it would just, it depending on what type of addiction, and I'm just going to go ahead and listen to Spirit tell me that it's a drug addiction, and a twin. And so here's the thing. If your twin is addicted to drugs and or alcohol, let's go ahead and throw that
And
out.
or sex.
Yeah, and or anything, actually. It's a rough road. It's a rough road. There are things that they have to get through, and they need to want to help themselves. They're not going to take anything from anybody unless it benefits them. We deal with this a lot, and it's scary. The only advice we can give you, because we don't know the details, is you have to give them space. You're going to always be connected, but you have to give them space to find themselves. And unless we have a little bit more details or find out, a lot more about what's going on and what you're trying to do, it's kind of hard to navigate. I kind of have an idea, but and I believe that there's a distance involved. So I'm trying to tread real lightly here, because I don't want to misstep. But I want to say you have to find space and provide that space for them to find themselves. And all you can do at this point is be supportive and loving and love them unconditionally. Love them through this. It's different if you're living in the same home, or if you're trying to find union, it's different. Or even if you're in union, it's different. For some reason, I'm knowing that this person's just a little bit farther away, and the communication is null and void because the other person has an addiction, and they're farther away, and it goes for a period of time without communication. So in that circumstance, if I'm right and if I'm not, please email me and correct me, and I'll recant in the next video or update even. But if they're in another space, all you can do is let them know that you love them, you support them, and you'll be there for them. However, do not enable, do not send money, don't send money. Please don't send money. And that's hard without knowing all the details. It's odd in this dynamic because you feel that, you know what I mean? You feel that. I could feel at times if you were drinking wine, and you don't have a problem with wine, but I could feel it.
Mm-hmm.
When I was gone away. I knew.
Yeah.
So if you're that connected and you're feeling this high, or you're feeling this depression, or you're feeling this desire to, email us with a little bit more details, and I'd like to hear a little bit more about that.
And just make sure that when you look up addiction, realize what causes it first, because addiction of any kind is just a refusal to go into your own pain.
Right. We've been on for almost an hour.
Oh, and these people are all still here. What's wrong with you people?
What's wrong with people?
Oh, yeah, so I believe that was.
But can we touch on the blind space real quick?
What's the blind space?
You just said it. When you just said it, you're the one that triggered that. When you said when you were in that blind space with me when I was pregnant, you were, and here I'm going to make this real simple.
The blind space.
The blind space is not clear and not truthful communication.
The blind space is when we hide ourselves, it gives the other person permission to hide us.
Hide us. There it is.
So it's because we're asking them for something they can't give us, and we're not accepting them for who they are and where they're at. We keep putting that pressure on them, so you get put in the blind space.
Right.
So the blind space essentially is something you do to yourself that the other person's allowed, the person you're connected to is allowed to definitely do it to you. More times than not, and it probably becomes almost a headache to you. But you don't even call bullshit on yourself when you do it to yourself. But it's easier to call it on somebody else. So the blind space, the way that I was stating it was, I was hiding a shitload of stuff from you, but at the same time, I was hiding a shitload of stuff from myself. Mm-hmm. So it was almost like I was in the space where no, not really too many people. I don't think anybody you were talking to at that time were allowed to even know that you were talking to me or seeing me, with the exception of your mother. And we'll talk about that at a different time. That whole Ponderosa episode, I'll never forgive you. But that's a whole other different story. Forgot about that. Did you?
I did till just now.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to bring that up. I was in a blind space all the way up to that moment. Then I was begging to be in a blind space. Just kidding. But the blind space is something that really, it's a space in you that says, yeah, I'm accepting of this. But I want this. If they're going to come out, everybody's got to know that I'm connected to them. And this is the rule I'm creating. And you create that rule, but at the same time, you create a rule that says that you can be hidden.
Yes, you do.
Yeah. You can't define the connection. Our connection seemed to work like this. It was connection. There was passion. There was desire. Then there was lust. Then there was connection. And then there was friendship. And then there was desire. And there was lust. And then there was connection, and then there was
see the pattern.
Beautiful friendship, and then there was acceptance of where we are, acceptance of who knows that we're connected. It really wasn't even about anybody else. It was just, hey, how you doing? You doing good? Because I believe there was a space in us that said, hey, you know what? You know how it feels to be connected, right? You don't want to be in the blind space, but the blind space is something. We could go deep into this, and this could take another hour just to explain it. But I'm going to try to just make it simple. You're looking for something more than they can give you. You put yourself in a blind space.
Gotcha. Because
you're asking them to do something without even knowing the other half, the other side. You're not asking those things that can open up and actually allow somebody to talk to you. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So just change the blind space. Oh, wow.
Okay.
Didn't see that.
I didn't either. Vegan looks good on you. Well, I'm not vegan. I wish I could claim that.
Veterinarian.
Vegetarian.
Veterinarian.
I don't even know about that because I don't know the labels too awful well. Yeah. Here's what we're doing. I haven't had any red meat. We haven't had any red meat. I am doing fish. Rarely.
Not all of our communication is healthy.
No, not all of our communication is healthy.
We'll talk about that at a different time.
Yeah. So I lost my train of thought. Oh, what was I at?
You were talking about what kind of food you're.
Oh yeah. Why did I lose that?
Anyway, because you started reading.
Oh yeah, yeah. So yeah, we've cut out red meat, and here's the thing. I don't feel like I'll never eat red meat again, and I might, but I know this for a fact. I know that I won't eat red meat over once or twice a month, if that. It's going on 30 days, almost.
No,
right. It is today.
30 days.
30 days today, actually, that we haven't had any red meat. and it feels okay. It feels good, and I am eating dairy and fish. I don't know what that is, but that's what we're doing. And
I don't like the fish.
you didn't like the fish?
No, I'm doing most of the stuff that the made. It's meatless. I'm doing pretty much meatless.
Yeah.
Dairy, little. I don't like dairy too much either. I'm not a big dairy. I'm not a big milk drinker. I like almond milk before I like regular milk. I mean, I have my reasons, but I'm just staying clear of a lot of different things. But I think I've found my groove. I seem to be content with. I love peanut butter.
Right.
I just wanted to put that out there.
Peanut butter's your friend.
Yeah, we're not auctioning Jeff. Forget
We're
about
not
it.
auctioning off.
No, it's
We are going to auction off these sessions and some other things tomorrow. I'm gonna post some things. When we get in office tomorrow, and it's going to be a little late in the morning. Actually, it might be even earlier, but I will post.
Nope, go to the doctor.
Well, I'm going to be up.
Oh,
So
okay.
I will post a thing that shows what we're auctioning, how much, and what the bids are at that point in time. I'll do that first thing or in the morning Eastern Standard Time, somewhere around 9 or 10 or something. So any bids that come in over the night, what we'll do is I'll sit down with our office manager, and we'll. If you bid first, you get that bid, and then somebody bids after you, they override you. Somebody bids after you, they'll override you, and then if only one person bids on it, then it's yours at 7:00 tomorrow night. So one session, $50, a month for $300, 6 months for $1,500 versus $48. That's big. A year for $4,800. Group camps are auctioning starting at $400. We are going to auction off some T-shirts. We're going to auction off some relationship reinvented T-shirts.
We can't do the oils. We can't.
I mean,
we try every time we try.
Yeah,
I think we're on the national watch list now because we try to send liquid to the mail.
I don't know what the hell.
I'm not trying to be on that list.
Yeah, we might try to help, but we got some crystals.
We're supposed to go out of the country.
We got some rocks. We can't be on a watch list for sending oil over the mail.
We tried, and what's interesting is they either confiscate it and we get some kind of notice.
Yeah, it's all bad.
Or they send it back.
It's all
and
bad.
It's empty. I mean, it's like
bad.
a mess. It was a brilliant idea.
It's been such a mess, and I've got the best brew going back here. It smells so good.
Yeah, you need to put it back out for the.
But we'll probably
retrograde.
We'll probably just take that to like expos and things like that, and probably hand them out. But the oil thing was it was a night. If you got some, consider yourself lucky. Hot mess. Let me tell you.
Pescatarian?
Yeah, I don't know what. Yeah, it could be. It could be. But hey, we love you guys. I'm gonna post this auction. Look, and I know that I'm posting this crowdfunding in this group a lot. It's really because it's so you get it. That's all. That's all. You get it. And any other questions we get through when we wake up in the morning and we see questions, we got more videos coming out. We got all kinds of cool stuff coming up. I know we keep saying it, but it keeps coming up. It's really cool.
Yes.
And we love you guys. We really, really, really do.
Absolutely.
I'm going to find out who's making those mean faces.
They don't want us to leave. Don't do
It shows us. It shows
balls.
us, I tell you. Stop saying balls.
Oh, okay.
Balls.
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 BAWLS.
Yeah, I like that.
Balls.
Balls.
It's not like draws.
Balls.
Now we're getting slap at
Yeah,
me.
we need
That's
to quit.
what that is.
All right, well,
There it is.
our whole conversation about balls.
This person, it's interesting to me. She said, I used to be a vegan for 7.5 years, haven't been one in 12 years. I'm curious to know what changed. What switched?
I don't know. Send us we would like to.
I would, yeah.
I would
do us a favor if you would, and would you send us an email? The one here that says I used to be a vegan for 7.5 years.
Yeah.
And I'm asking you for a reason, because we're not giving up meat for activism reasons. We're not activists. Obviously, I don't like it that animals are hurt. I'm an animal lover. Obviously, I don't like that, but that's not where my head is. We watched a documentary. It ruined our life. That's the facts. I'm not doing it for activism. We're not doing it for weight loss purposes. We're actually doing it to see if it really helps.
And it has.
And it has. I mean, it's dropped my diabetic numbers down, way down.
I'm trying to cure my diabetes, and it seems to be doing the trick.
And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But it's gotta. I feel like you've got to do something for a period of time, right? I'm curious to know: were you a meat eater before the 7.5 years, or were you raised on meat and dairy, and then what was the reason that you switched from meat and dairy to veganism for 7.5 years? It's a long time, and then to be 12 years without it. I would love for you to send us an email and tell us what the circumstances were to those changing. Do you notice any health differences? Is there any big changes in your lifestyle? Any big changes that happened? Was there death in the family? You know what I mean? What was it? Something tragic to make that happen, or what? I'm curious. If you'll send that, I would just love it. Thank you so much.
You can email us at leeandsherry@relationshipreinvented.com.
Yeah, leeandsherry@relationshipreinvented.com. We will get that.
Yeah.
We will get that email personally.
Absolutely.
So you won't get staff coming to you. You won't get staff coming to you and saying,
Yeah.
You'll get us.
We'll look out for yours. Just put your name in the message part. That way we'll know.
Yeah. To bid on any of these things, you can bid by putting a comment under this video. You can bid by going to Lee Sherry's page. That may get here, it may not. You can bid by going to Sherry Lee's page. I'll probably get that. Better to bid on Sherry Patterson in instant message. I'll get that. Okay. He just posted the email. And for any of this coaching, it can be for you. If you're a current client, you can add to your packages. If you want to just donate, you can go to the page and donate. Go to our PayPal and donate, and then I'll post it on the board. And we will donate. We'll donate some time and some sessions to someone who is waiting to get in. We have a waiting list of those to get in for those who can't necessarily afford our services, and we have a waiting list. And if we donate a boot camp, when that person's done, we'll put somebody else in that spot. We give away as much as we receive, and this is for an amazing cause. It's for a great charity, and it's real near and dear to our hearts. So
yes, absolutely.
I agree. Teresa, we shouldn't eat pigs. They shouldn't be so tasty and slow.
Well, look at North Carolina.
They really are tasty. But I'll tell you what, that video ruined it for us. Yeah. I don't think I'll ever be able to eat bacon again. It's unfortunate and it's true, but I just don't think I'll be able to. We love you guys. I don't want to get into any activism talks, any political things, but we love you guys, and we will see you soon. We've been on an hour and 8 minutes.
Something like that. We love you guys.
Who does that?
Good night, Neverland.